These are two AFK fish farm designs, and both are going to get you XP and treasure loot, so let's get into it. Just to let you guys know before we get into it, this farm is only going to produce treasure loot if you're playing on Bedrock Edition. If you're playing in Java Edition, you will still be able to catch fish and junk items, but in order to get mending books and stuff, you will have to play on Bedrock Edition. So with that said, we're going to get into the first design, which is an AFK fish farm for the computer version of the game, so Windows 10, or anything that you can get an auto clicker on. So we're going to sit down a double chest and then a hopper, place down a fence post, and then an oak pressure plate or any pressure plate on top of that fence post, and then we're going to place down a note block, and then a plank right there. And of course, I forgot my water bucket, but we're going to grab one of those and throw it right there. And that is the entire thing. That is the entire thing. That's all you have to do. Make sure that when you walk into this pressure plate, the iron door opens upwards. And now I'm just going to grab a fishing rod and start my auto clicker. Alright, in order to use this auto clicker, I use OP Auto Clicker 3.0. And all we're going to do is set it to 800 milliseconds or 0.8 seconds and set the mouse button to right click. Now this will work with literally any auto clicker that you use. There we go, there's the fishing rod. Grab our fishing rod. So you can use any auto clicker, just make sure to set it to 800 milliseconds. We're going to get as close as we can to the water without actually stepping into it. Just like so. That's pretty close. And then we're just going to go ahead and look directly into the fence post, so in the center of that pressure plate and just on the edge of the hitbox. We're then going to go ahead and start our auto clicker now, which my keybind for some reason resets. So there we go, F6, and it's just going to go like that. And if we just let this run, we are going to end up catching our first piece of loot. A couple things to note is that you want to make sure that this is the only water source block within a 5-block radius, because fish will travel 5 blocks in any direction. So as you can see, we just caught a fish. Another thing to note is that this farm will work better with skylight access and access to rain. And if you just let it go, you can literally just leave your computer running for literal hours and come back to tons and tons of drops. So you're probably going to want more than one double chest. This is a great way to get early game XP, and it's also a great way to get mending books, because I know people are going to say you can't get treasure loot, but I assure you that you can get treasure loot with this farm if you are playing on the Bedrock Edition. You will not get treasure loot on Java Edition, but on Bedrock Edition, you absolutely can get mending books and stuff. Also, just like, this is what I caught. I caught a fish. Another thing I'll mention is that if you are playing and you're noticing that 800 milliseconds is not catching fish because there's like lag or something, then set it to 1200 milliseconds or 1.2 seconds, and you will usually fix all your problems. I know on Realms, 1200 milliseconds usually works better than 800, but just kind of mess around with it and see what works. The next design I'm going to show you is going to work on all of the mobile and consoles. This is a semi-automatic fish farm, which means that you will never miss catching a fish. So it is actually a pretty useful farm. The first thing we're going to do is mine out 3 blocks in the ground and then dig 3 more blocks. So you should have a 3 by 1 by 4 deep hole. We're then going to go into the hole, place down a double chest right here, and then run a hopper into that chest, just like that. Go ahead and grab a temporary block, place it over top of the hopper, and then a rail. Place down your minecart hopper and break that dirt block. And then we're going to go ahead and place down a sign in front of that minecart hopper. Grab another block and place it here, and then get out. If you want to place ladders on this side, I'm going to end up doing that later. We're going to then place down a grass block right here, or any block for that matter. Place down a lava bucket and then a chest. Grab your trapdoors now and place down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 trapdoors. Go ahead and open all of those guys up. And then we're going to throw down a banner on the front of this chest. Now that can be whatever banner you want. I thought that the cyan really complemented the lava color, so that's the color I went with. We're going to go ahead and waterlog that chest and place a water bucket behind it. Go ahead and place down a trapdoor here, and if you haven't already, it's pretty useful if you want to go ahead and throw down some ladders. That way you can get in and out of the farm. So if you get down here, you can collect all of your loot, and we're actually just going to grab that rail, and then we can just come out here, close the trapdoor, and then we are ready to fish. So I'm going to grab a fishing rod. And with our fishing rod now, we can go ahead and throw our fishing rod. We're going to cast our fishing rod towards the center of that banner. So just anywhere in this area is going to work. And then as we can see, we'll just let it sit, and it's going to drop down into the lava. We're going to collect the XP, and then the item is going to end up in the chest below it. and we're just going to sit here. Of course, if you had a better fishing rod with Luck of the Sea 3 or what is the Lure 3, there we go. If you had Lure 3, then you would catch fish faster. Don't worry about enchanting a fishing rod because you are going to catch a fishing rod eventually by using this farm. As you can see, we got the XP. We go ahead and open this chest. We caught a raw cod in there. And if we go back, we can just go ahead and redo this as well. Now, unfortunately, this is not an AFK. Unfortunately, this is not an AFK fish farm because you will have to cast the rod every time. But sometimes, you know, you miss fish, and this is like a really convenient way to catch fish in the safety of your own base. I particularly like this design because it looks cool, so I mean, that's not really a selling point for the farm, but it does work, and it is quite good because, again, you'll never miss a fish. And again, please do not enchant a fishing rod because that is just a waste of levels. You are better off just waiting to catch a good fishing rod with like Unbreaking 3, Luck of the Sea, Lure 3, and honestly, Mending, I think, is sometimes on those. So you can definitely catch a good fishing rod by using these farms. With that said, though, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, then be sure to subscribe and leave a like. My name is 1UpMC, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.